Red Cedar Rowdies are out. Michigan State top 5 a year ago in attendance for a good reason. They had a great team to watch and hoping for more of the same as number 15 Notre Dame's at Martin Stadium in East Lansing. Alongside Jackie, I'm Dean. Let's take a look at Nate Norman's starting lineup for Notre Dame.
We'll be in a 3-5-2. Look for Lainey Matriano, who sits in that 6th spot. She kind of pulls the strings for the midfield for Notre Dame.
That's the starting lineup for the Fighting Irish. Jeff Hostler has had to move some players around, but still working for the Spartans.
Yeah, their typical 4-4-2, but like you said, tons of changes, tons of player personnel changes, and then players in different roles. But watch for Gaynor, Justina Gaynor in the midfield. She's been going up and down that left flank and really dangerous in the attack this year.
Keep an eye out for number 32, Maggie Illig. This is just the 6th day, let alone game 6 days she's ever played center back, the former forward wearing number 32 for Jeff Hostler and Michigan State. Notre Dame out in their blue uniforms. And there's Jeff Hostler. Martin Rennie right there as well, assistant coach with Notre Dame. And there's Nate Norman. Played at Notre Dame under the great Bobby Clark. Back in the 6th season, Jeff Hostler has won everywhere he's been. He is a Michigan man through and through, winning some national champs at Grand Valley State before arriving on the scene. Had a big year, his first year with 10 wins, 17 wins in his 2nd season. There's Nate Norman sitting right next to Martin Rennie. Played for Martin Rennie at the Carolina Railhawks. Martin Rennie would coach in the MLS. Now enjoying his time as a top assistant for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Pretty good story. Nate just had a baby boy. He had 2 girls already. I guess he didn't have it. His wife had. I'm thinking the wife does the heavy lifting on that part of it, Jackie.
With 4 kids, I can attest that you are accurate.
But congratulations to Nate and his wife on their 3rd child. Michigan State in all white. We started the season with a premium non-conference matchup with North Carolina and Penn State. I'd put this one right up there with it.
Absolutely, and like we kind of talked about in the open, this is a team that, in terms of Michigan State, that wants to be at that next level and wants to be there consistently. And Jeff Hostler, who we love having calls with as well, is so fun to talk to about the goals and what they're doing as a program to make sure that happens.
I like the fact that he emphasized not only did they go 9-0-1 in the regular season and win 17 games, but they were top 5 in attendance nationally. That says a lot.
Yeah, the atmosphere, and I was even reading up on their press conference from last game. The atmosphere, he said, they draw so much energy from it on the field, and especially in a turnaround where you're going Thursday to Sunday, and that Sunday is a really hard game and a battle game. It's a big thing to have your home crowd behind your back and get you going.
This Michigan State team did lose their superstar goal scorer, Lauren DeBow, who is now out in LA trying to get in the movie business, just like we thought she would. If you remember during the championships, we showed you some of her work. They lose the goalkeeper of the year, Kozel, and they also lose Ruby Diodati, but they used the transfer portal and a really good freshman class. Notre Dame quickly off the foul. Michigan State gets back and gets set.
That's going to be Notre Dame's game this game today. They're going to try and go quick. They're going to try and press you. They're going to try and make you really uncomfortable when you have the ball. But Michigan State likes to play a really similar game. Notre Dame is going to be in that 3-5-2 that we talked about. Michigan State in their 4-4-2. So watch the battles in the midfield where Notre Dame's going to try and possess a bit. But both these teams want to get up. They want to make the game fast and difficult and hard. So it should be a fun matchup to watch.
Michigan State. They somehow stay with it. Mackenzie Anthony, 3 goals and 2 assists already after scoring 8 goals and 3 assists a year ago at Baylor, where she played with Gabby Mueller. And Gabby Mueller kind of pulls the strings behind her former Baylor teammate Mackenzie Anthony. And then sitting next, the former super sub, who according to Jeff Hostler now deserves to start, Jordan Wickus, 7 goals a year ago. She's got 3 already on the season. They'll get it wide. Michigan State, good ball back. Sent back in, really good ball driven in by Reagan Cox. Notre Dame going the other way. That was our first look. She was side by side, Maggie Illig back there.
This is Reagan Cox getting high up into the final third for Michigan State. It's a great ball into the back of the 6. She was trying to find Anthony on the back post there. But a good start for Michigan State, just getting numbers into the attack, getting that wide player forward. That's what they'll be looking to do offensively.
Record-setting season for Coach Hostler, but also Nate Norman, his 17 wins a year ago, a career high. Nate played at Notre Dame under one of the legendary coaches in Bobby Clark. Bobby Clark's son, Jamie Clark, now the top man at Washington, that just knocked off Indiana in Bloomington. And they'll take on Ohio State tomorrow night on a game we'll also have right here on the Big Ten Network. Out of bounds and back to Michigan State. Notre Dame. Off the throw and they win it back. Foul inside the 18, but clean. Good shoulder-to-shoulder tackle there by Celia Gaynor. Celia and Justina Gaynor. Excellent student athletes, excellent soccer players. Counter is on for Michigan State. It's Cox again. This time keeps it on the ground. It'll be knocked out of bounds and a throw in for the Spartans. Cox quickly with the throw in. That was Lanaya Hudson, who is back again to combine with Patino. Foul called. That one will go against Notre Dame's Morgan Roy, a freshman.
This is great little footwork and a 2v1 situation from Reagan Cox and Bella Najara. It's a good ball in. Notre Dame doing a good job to defend those and winning those 50-50s, but Michigan State getting their outside backs in the attack, creating those little 2v1 situations in the wide spaces, and they've been really dangerous off of those flank opportunities.
Reagan Dalton over the ball. To her left, Emerson Sargent. We'll talk more about Emerson Sargent, particularly what happened in the Big Ten tournament as this one will come in. One back by Michigan State tonight, again by Notre Dame. Notre Dame, this is a breakaway transition right here at the moment. It's a 1v1 opportunity. Van Zanten, Kiki Van Zanten. Kiki Van Zanten will send it into the Red Cedar River. But on that breakaway, good 1v1 defending. Graduate student from Buffalo Grove, Illinois, Kiki Van Zanten. Nate Norman's from Michigan. In fact, that's how he got into the women's game. He was getting married. His wife-to-be had already got a job in Michigan. He was coaching men. Western Michigan's women's job needed an assistant. That's how he broke in, and he has done well. He left for a little bit to go down to Miami, but then came back to Western Michigan to take over that team. Then went to Notre Dame as the assistant. A year later, he got the job, now in his 6th season. Michigan State comes into this game with 4 wins, including a 7-0 win over Northern Colorado and a 6-0 win over Eastern Michigan. Their only loss was in the altitude of Colorado. Jeff Hostler admitting that it really is hard to get used to that altitude. As you see the records up top, Notre Dame with 2 wins and 2 ties. They started out the season in the top 5. Those 2 ties have dropped them a little bit. Quite frankly, Michigan State not getting the respect. I mean, they are Rodney Dangerfield to a T. 2 great years, 17 wins, and they're not even in the top 25 right now. Makes no sense.
It doesn't. I mean, it's early. We haven't even started conference play yet, right? But this is a group who's been consistent, and especially after last year's dominant performance. I'm excited to see where they take it this year.
12-1-3 in their last 16 regular season games. There's Illig, converted forward, now playing center back. A little bit of pressure. Not afraid to use her keeper in Caitlin Parks, replacing Lauren Cozell, who's now with Portland. The transfer from Wake Forest, where she was Tony DeLuse's first choice for the Demon Deacons. Turned over, Notre Dame has it back. Long pass forward for the Fighting Irish. We'll find Ospek, Ellie Ospek. She had Leah Klinke making the run on the left side, but elected to square it centrally. See the back line of 4 perfectly in sync right now for Michigan State. Good patience here from Notre Dame. Klinke sends it back over, perfect pass, and a finish. Klinke to Ospek, and it's 1-0 Notre Dame.
Would love to see the amount of passes that Notre Dame just strung together to get that sequence going, but what a goal by Notre Dame. Here's Van Zanten, gets the ball wide, right into Klinke's run. It's a good driven ball right into Ospek, who one time finishes it, but that build up to get that ball out into the wide space, find that driven ball right into the top of the 6 into Ospek's run was so impressive by Notre Dame. Like you said, the patience to be able to keep that ball moving, 1-2 touches on their passes. It's a great build up from Notre Dame.
So a good start for Nate Norman. And the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, 2nd goal of the season for Ellie Ospek, the senior out of Danville, California. Meanwhile, Leah Klinke, her 2nd assist, the sophomore out of Houston. Cox with the throw in. Cox will get it back. Push from behind and a whistle against Notre Dame. That's Van Zanten whistled for the foul. Illig will switch it over to Celia Gaynor, who's also had to make the move back to center back. That's where Michigan State, I mean, losing to Bow was huge, but losing your goalkeeper and 3 of your 4 in the back line, that's tough.
Absolutely, and Caitlin Parks is super similar to Lauren Kozel in goal, so between the posts, they exchanged something that didn't change a whole lot in terms of how they want to play, because they'll get their center backs way spread wide. They want to get them back so that they can build out of the attack deep, and that's a hard ask to do. So the goalkeeper really good with her feet in terms of Caitlin Parks. But yeah, it's a huge, there's a ton. We talked a little bit about Emerson Sargent, but she was a huge player in the midfield for Michigan State last year and then took an injury, but she did a ton for them in the midfield, and now she's in that left back spot. So lots of changes to figure out for this Michigan State side.
I'm glad you brought it up, because when they lost Sargent, it really hurt Michigan State against Penn State. She was such a key part of what Michigan State was doing offensively. They missed her quite a bit.
Absolutely, especially in their NCAA runs too. I mean, She just brought a spark in that midfield. She was hard to catch. She was really good on the ball. She liked to go at you on the dribble. She was a fun player to watch, and like you said, huge hole for them to try and replace, but it'll be fun to see her in that left back spot. Hostler said it kind of gives her a little bit more freedom. She faces the game, she can attack, she's got more space to go forward, and especially in terms of Justina Gaynor and what she does in the midfield, it really frees both of them up to play off of each other.
Klinke already with the assist, and we've seen her and Aspect combined quite a bit. Hard to ask for a better start on the road for the Fighting Irish against a very good Michigan State team to get the early goal. Both teams like to press and go at you anyway, but it's going to open it up just a little bit more, particularly in front of this big crowd. Jeff Hostler and Michigan State will want to try to respond. Good soft feet, one there in the middle by Mueller. Baylor transfer.
Obviously Notre Dame on the board early, but Michigan State's had a ton of the possession and a ton of opportunities getting their backs involved. And they've done a good job of spreading the field. They've established themselves in their attacking half.
It's Klinke again. Klinke goes out wide, then cuts back in. And she'll earn the corner kick. St. Agnes Academy in Houston for number 4, Leah Klinke. Only a sophomore.
So dangerous and calm on the ball in that wide space, though.
So Caitlin Parks wearing 00 in goal for Jeff Hostler will direct traffic. Corner kick for Notre Dame. Right at the top of the 6, pretty good spot for it. It's going to go all the way through, bounce through, and it'll come back to Michigan State. They know the press is there, but they're determined to play it out of the back.
They are, and it's risky, right? You're under pressure in a spot that's really close to your goal, but it also draws Notre Dame way out, so their lines are stretched. So if you can beat that first line, you're off to the races when you do.
They find Mueller. Taken away again. Leah Klinke has had a lot of the ball. She'll square it middle of the field. Jeff Hostler essentially grew up right here in this area of East Lansing, so for him to have such great success at multiple colleges, working his way up in the state of Michigan. Of course, the club program in Michigan, amazing. Hawks, Vardar, and other clubs, they've always been good, really good, particularly in the women's game. Foul against Notre Dame, it'll come back to Michigan State. There's Jeff Hostler, assisted by Megan Link, Gabe Romo, Casey Durkaz. Haas always has the cool shades on, Jackie.
He does.
Middle of the park for Notre Dame. A little touch there by Matriano. Aspect. Remember, this is Illig, only 6 days into the role as a center back, trying to take care of Ospec. Illig.
She's done good 1v1. She's had a couple different opportunities there to kind of showcase her defensive ability, and she's done a really good job staying touch tight and making it difficult, keeping her feet moving.
It's got to be a little nervy for, I would think, Matriano. Way offside was Blinky. Notre Dame leads this series 6-1, as this is right at the penalty spot. Michigan State gets it out of there with a little pressure coming from Kiki Van Zanten. Last time these two teams played was back in 2015, but to their credit, Nate Norman and Jeff Hostler both saying they would like to make this a regular saw the all-time record. Last win for Notre Dame was 2-0 in East Lansing back on 2015. They've won 12 in a row against the Spartans. Notre Dame, to clarify, leads the series 12-2, and they lead at Michigan State 6-1. They've won 6 in a row here at DeMartin. Yeah, Jackie, you commented on it when you played at Illinois. Of course, it wasn't that long ago, but it did not look anything like this. It's a beautiful facility now, isn't it?
It really is. The atmosphere and the fans, and obviously there's more fans the more success that you have, so that's grown as well, but it's such a pretty stadium.
DeMartin Stadium, East Lansing, Michigan, on a gorgeous Sunday afternoon on this Labor Day weekend. Wishing all of you a happy Labor Day weekend. That little bonus day on Monday alongside Jackie Manny from Raw Big Tenor at Illinois. I'm Dean Linke. Almost halfway through the first half. Jackie, let's get your thoughts first on the visitors. They have the lead 1-0, number 15 team in the country as you look at the Haas. Actually, let's start with Michigan State. Your thoughts on the Spartans down 1-0.
You know, I like that they're sticking to their game plan as hard as Notre Dame is pressing and making it difficult. They're still committed to building out of the back and playing and possessing and wanting the ball, and I think they've been able to build and get some opportunities in their attack. I think Notre Dame, they play with that 3-back, and Ava Gattino, who we talked about at the top, she's so good. She's so composed and calm with the ball, without the ball, defensively, offensively, that she can just run the show for Notre Dame from the back, and they've been able to create some overloads on this left side that ultimately led to a goal.
Yeah, Gattino off to a rocking start. The ACC Defender of the Year, actually leads the Fighting Irish with 3 goals as the center back.
Just a big-time target for them in the box off set pieces.
A yellow card going against Notre Dame. That push from behind from Morgan Roy. So Roy, the freshman.
Here's Morgan Roy just coming into that right shoulder, clips the outside of her foot.
Yellow. Go ahead.
Also just lifted that left arm just a touch, just enough for that yellow.
Roy out of Commerce, Michigan. Yeah, Nate Norman spent a good amount of time at Western Michigan as both an assistant and the head coach. He grew up in Rochester, Michigan, just outside of Detroit. Spartans 4 or 5 passes together, sent out of bounds, and throw in from Michigan State. Reagan Cox back for one final year, spending some time with Arkansas, a key part of that 17-win season a year ago. Giving it one more run. Great job coming back defensively. Sophia Fisher wearing number 11 for Notre Dame to win it back. All-time meeting between these two teams. As we mentioned, 12-2 in favor of Notre Dame. Taken away again by the Fighting Irish. All right, let's see. Michigan State trying to break down Notre Dame right through the spine. They might need to spring it out wide a little bit.
I think that's where they've had most of their success. Notre Dame is in the flanks. They were in that 3-5-2 system, so their numbers up in the midfield and getting those numbers and the ball out wide has been where they're finding their opportunities. But Michigan State, they've had a lot of this first half.
Good spin in the middle of the park by the Spartans. Extra pass. Trying to run it down was Mackenzie Anthony. He's got those 3 goals and 2 assists already. Part of that Baylor combo with Gabby Mueller. Mackenzie Anthony grew up with 3 brothers. There she is.
Hey, don't let him out wide. Hey, Reagan. Watch. In the front. Over right. Yes,
Good job by the Spartans to win it back. They can't earn the whistle. Tackle ruled clean. Good pressure coming from Justina Gaynor, which will earn the throw in from Michigan State with 21:30 remaining. Illig. Referee decides to not blow the whistle there. Like a little bump foul from Notre Dame. Michigan State wins it back anyway. The Spartans trying to work the left side this time. Gabby Mueller
on the ball. I think she's been really good in that attacking spot for Michigan State. She's very subtle, very cheeky, but she's been all over the field. She made a great defensive run.
Michigan State sends it back in. And that'll come all the way back to Ashley Nair, the senior from Manhattan Beach, California, wearing number 31. Former Northwestern goalkeeper Mackenzie Wood did a good job for Notre Dame a year ago. She's moved on, so now a chance for Ashley Nair. Good extra effort coming there from Maddie Mercado. Played over the top. Clearance coming from Hudson. Hudson will run it down. Run back by Michigan State. Tino heads it away. Gainer had it for a second, lost it. Foul call against Notre Dame. Will stay with Michigan State. There's Sargent.
Here's a look at that handball. Sargent coming in hard. And that was Maddie Mercado. Left hand up in the air, just bounces up, deflects off of her.
Sargent. I think it's definitely too deep to be thinking shot. She let it rip right there. It goes off the one-person wall. What do you think, Jackie? She was just going to fire it in there, maybe hope for a rebound or something, because it was a long ways away.
Yeah, I think it was mishit. I think she was trying to get that up and over and a service into the box.
Bounces over Sargent's head, knocked out of bounds. It'll be a Michigan State throw in right in front of the Notre Dame bench. Looks like Nate Norman and Notre Dame going to make 3 changes next opportunity. Couple passes along the left side. A cut back in, inside the 18. Another cut. And picked up there by Nair. Good work, though, from the home team, Michigan State.
It's a great run by Wickus. Turns those defenders 1, 2, 3 times. I think that was Dalton, or Reagan Cox, excuse me, that was way up high in the box for Michigan State trying to get on the end of it. But another good sequence and good opportunity for Michigan State. I think they're doing a fantastic job at pinning Notre Dame, making it difficult. I think they can be a little bit more patient in their final third, but I think Michigan State's looking good.
It's a different Michigan State program, but they have not scored a goal against the Fighting Irish. Got to go all the way back to 1996. So we mentioned 3 players coming in for Notre Dame. Chase Ying, a freshman out of LA. One of them is Martin Rennie talking to Laney Matriano. Number 10, also coming into the game, Aaron Honstein. And Christina Lynch comes in for the goal scorer, Ospek. Ospek's goal has Notre Dame, the number 15 team in the country, up 1-0 with a little over 16 minutes remaining. If you're wondering about Wake Forest goalkeepers, don't forget that Aubrey Kingsbury made the U.S. World Cup team for this past World Cup in New Zealand and Australia, former Wake Forest Demon Deacon. So Parks, after 4 good years at Wake Forest, filling the shoes of Colzo in goal for Jeff Hostler. Klinke, another good squared ball. That's how they scored the first goal. As we're approaching 15 minutes remaining here in the first half. Good left-footed ball and picked up by the former Demon Deacon Parks, who came into this game with a .48 goals against average and 4 saves on the season. For the whistle, not getting it was Mackenzie Anthony. Illig starting to settle in at that new position. Wickus call her offside.
I think she came back from an offside position, yeah.
Junior from Brunswick, Ohio, Brunswick High School. Former basketball and track star. I don't think we've ever seen her play a bad game. A lot of times coming off the bench, but she always brought energy, and a lot of times Jackie brought some big-time goals.
Absolutely. I think Jeff Hostler called it one time when we were calling her play, but I think she kind of embodies this Spartan program, or what they're trying to make a Spartan program, and that's just kind of a athletic go-getter. And I think that's one of the things I love about this Michigan State side, and loved last year, is that they want to play, they want to possess, they want to play pretty soccer, but they've got some bite and some grind to them, and it makes it fun to watch this team play.
And Jeff Hostler seeing Bria Skotenbro, Gardner, White, all those outstanding backs leave off that great team. And then, of course, the theatrics of Lauren DeBow, some wonder goals.
The drama.
Yeah. She had the drama, then the strut.
I think that's what makes this first half that much more impressive to me, is how much they lost, how many players that were part of this program last year who are now back, but in different positions than they were last year, and they're still putting things together. They still look fluid in how they're playing, like they're on the same page, and I think they're going to have a pretty impressive year.
Kenzie Anthony going out of the game for Notre Dame. Boy, despite this high press, I mean, I'm talking a layered high press with 5-6 Notre Dame players. Michigan State committed to playing it out of the back. They may have to change that game plan here, as putting that back line under a tremendous amount of pressure, but yet they somehow get out of it. Well done.
When you have a team that high presses you, and you're a team that likes to possess deep in your end, it just, like we talked about, it creates so many openings in those wide flanks in between the lines once you can actually break that first line of pressure. And we've seen Michigan State kind of take advantage of it, but I think the more they get into this game and the more comfortable they get building out of the back, we're going to see them continue to make opportunities from it.
It's Rania Senhaji, wearing number 9, who came into the game. Senior transfer from South Carolina. Illig. Hargrave has come on for Mueller as it finds the feet of Najera. Najera, pretty good trap. Throwing again for Reagan Cox, the grad student. Last year with Michigan State after starting her career at Arkansas. Tackle right around the 18, it'll go out of bounds. It'll be a corner kick Michigan State.
That was Maya Hudson, who she's been so good 1v1 in that wide space for Notre Dame at the left back spot.
Just over 10 minutes remaining here in the first half, with more and more people filing in to watch last year's Big Ten regular season champs, who did not lose a game in the regular season. 9 wins and a tie. Corner kick driven, pretty good spot, leaking through. And somehow at the last minute, Nair picks it up. Ashley Nair.
It's a great driven ball in from Dalton. I think that was Wickus who gets on the end of it, trying to find Justina Gaynor. another look at this. Wickus, one-time driven ball, hits it off the bounce. Great job by Naylor to get on top of that, but had 3 Michigan State players ready to pounce if anything came off the line.
Ashley Naylor, the senior out of Manhattan Beach, California.
Some cowbell action on the sideline right there following the throw-in.
Sent into the crowd. There's the cowbell.
Talk about a home field advantage. That is what we're referring to. I think so many things that Justina Gaynor does go overlooked because she is so good in that midfield spot. She covers so much ground, and her impact offensively and defensively for this Michigan State side is really fun to watch.
Klinke has got the assist. Good bounce for Notre Dame. Nobody home on that pass there from Christina Lynch, the grad student who spent time with the Florida State Seminoles and the national champion there as Wickus goes down.
This is Wickus and Gattino going up for the ball. Wickus turns right into her Gattino's elbow as Gattino gets off the ground. Both going for the ball. Ends up being a foul on Gattino.
The show back there, no doubt about it.
She does. She has a presence physically. She organizes. She's vocal.
Oh, that looked to me like it should have been a corner kick, isn't it?
I thought it was too.
Look at that. Quick drop to Gattino and right down the spine.
So one-time driven, perfectly placed ball by Gattino. We talked about it, but both sides of the ball, she is a huge player for Notre Dame.
Played over the top. Little touch there from Honstein. Going to stay with Notre Dame. Aaron Honstein wearing that number 10 jersey, the grad student from Broomfield, Colorado. Colorado has produced some of the top women players in the game for a long, long time.
And yeah, no, you cannot have the ball.
There's 6 minutes remaining on a big day for Big Ten women's soccer. While this game is going on, Wisconsin playing Western Michigan. Wisconsin tied North Carolina before falling to Duke on the road. Paula Wilkins always gets the most out of whoever she has. Emma Jaskinek working her way back in. Right now she's on minute restrictions, but hopefully by the time conference play starts, of course we called that game when she hurt her knee against Penn State at Happy Valley. Long ball over the top, cleared out of there, and that'll be a corner kick the other way. Corner kick for Notre Dame. Other games today, Jackie. Monmouth at Penn State, your alma mater, taking on Kentucky. Michigan hosting Cincinnati. Maryland's got Towson. Northwestern on the road against Vanderbilt. Southeast Missouri State taking on Iowa. Iowa off to a great start. Iowa is a little bit of a sleeping giant. I think they've got a good team. I think to their standards, disappointing season last year. They had a ton of players return. Let's take a look back at the only goal so far. far here, Jackie.
Ellie Osbeck gets on the end of this, but it was a pretty build-up from Notre Dame. Some good soccer, lots of passes. See that ball come out wide for Klinke. Just a driven ball right at the top of the sticks. It's difficult to defend a ball like that, and Osbeck just has to get a little touch on it to get that ball in the back of the net.
Osbeck just got inside of Celia Gaynor, another player like you talked about playing a different position, and that is the summary. Klinke to Osbeck, and it's 1-0 with under 4 minutes remaining in the first. At some point at halftime, we will take a look at the preseason predictions for Big Ten women's soccer and maybe get you caught up on the rest of those games I started to talk about. Big day for Big Ten women's soccer. Only going to get better when you think about the reigning national champs, UCLA. USC has won 2 national championships in the last 13 years. Washington, ton of history. Used to be led by Leslie Gallimore. It's going to be really exciting overall, but especially when you look at women's soccer, Jackie, I think the addition is huge.
Oh yeah, it'll make this conference that much more fun to watch. And I love when teams from different conferences, especially teams from different parts of the country, come into the conference, because they just bring a different style of play sometimes. And I think that's going to happen with the 2 teams that are joining. It's going to add to the level. It's going to make other teams have to play better. And I think it'll be really fun to watch how this this conference progresses and evolves.
Southern Cal was kind of paired with Wisconsin on that trip to take on Duke in North Carolina. Southern Cal coached by a former Duke player, Jane Alaconis. They beat Duke before falling to North Carolina. At the same time, Paula Wilkins was in the triangle. Notre Dame right now just 1-2 touch passing. Turn back over. 2 minutes. Can Michigan State make something happen here in the final 2 minutes of the first half to find that equalizer? Good little flick. Played into space by Michigan State. Great defending back there by Gattino. She's a beast.
Like you said, it was textbook 1v1 defending, got her body into it, kept the ball after it, kept possession after she won the ball.
Like a foul from behind, referee. Does not think so.
Just letting them play today.
Sargent with some freedom.
She's been switched, so you see Mia Hansen coming into that left back spot that Sargent was in, and Sargent's been freed up to go higher up the field in the midfield.
Mia Hansen from Grand Valley State, just like Ava Cook, who came to Michigan State and did great things after playing for Jeff Hostler, where he won multiple national championships at Grand Valley State. Wickus. Now Notre Dame probably, Jackie, will try to manage these final 25 seconds and take that 1-0 lead into the locker room.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
So Klinke to Osbeck, the only score. Jeff Hostler finds his team down 1-0. What a job he's done at Michigan State, though. 13-0-2 in their last 15 games at DeMartin Stadium. That's pretty impressive.
Absolutely, and to say how quick he did it too in his reign. It's been incredible to see what he's done and the pace that he's done it at, and I think this program still has lots to go under his realm.
All right, we're now joined by the top man for Notre Dame, now in his 6th season, Nate Norman. He and his wife just celebrated the birth of their 3rd child. Congratulations on that first, Nate. Well done. And yeah, talk about the goal. It was a really nice cross by Klinke.
Yeah, I mean, we were able to kind of get a hold of the ball and get some rhythm. Got the ball switched to a wide space, and I mean, playing those low hard balls on the ground and just a great run in the frame of the goal and good finish by Ellie. I mean, that's what we need to calm ourselves down and really do more of that in the second half. I think once we get into their half, we need to make sure we're kind of taking the sting out of the game a little bit.
Thoughts on the first half in general, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, I think they did a really good job. I think, we have to sort out their diamond in the midfield. We're making sure, I think we're good on the press, but once again, that kind of mid-block defending, there's kind of a way that we had talked about trying to fix it, and we haven't done it quite as much as possible, and they're finding open player quite often, and we need to just make sure we sort that out. But I think for us too, I think in the second half, the game will open up a little bit. Players will be a little more tired, and we need to calm down and control a little more of the tempo.
Always a pleasure to spend time with Nate Norman. Nate, good luck in the second half and the rest of the season.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
All right, Nate Norman's Notre Dame Fighting Irish with a 1-0 lead against 2 teams that won 17 games a year ago. It's Notre Dame